starting day 8 of our vacation. We are all gassed up, the car is, and we are headed now to go get some
fish and chips.
Fish and chips, yep. All right, and then where are we going after that, kiddos? Louder.
We are going to Stonehenge and Jane Austen's castle. And a hotel room and somewhere else.
We're going to end up where? Where are we going to end up?
Wales.
Yes. We're headed to Wales.
Just down the street from our hotel, someone had decided to decorate a mailbox with a beach scene. Most of it's crocheted. There's a little bit that is actually knit on there as well. But it was such a great display of art and talent, I thought that I would show you all.
And the girls got the fried cod. Smells delicious and it's fresh fried.
And now we're back on the road, headed to Stonehenge. It took us 2.5 hours to get there, and as we were driving and looking over the fields, we saw the stones sticking out of the fields, and that was pretty cool because I hadn't realized it was just in a farmer's field. We did this little backwards because we drove on a dirt path where people had actually parked and had RVs to camp, but this path led us to park there and walk up to the entrance.
So we made it to Stonehenge and we're actually walking on the free trail on the other side of the fence because they have a fence around the area, but we can get somewhat close by going on the foot trail, or we can pay 22 pounds a person to get closer. So we're gonna walk on the free trail first and see what we think. And if we want to get our tickets, we can go ahead and get our tickets. But it's so crazy when we were driving here and just looking over the fields, all of a sudden we see a circle of stones. That was pretty awesome. And there is that circle of stones.
I felt that the free path got us plenty close for the pictures that we wanted. David found a crocheted worm that someone had left there for our smiles and our enjoyment, which was really cool. Some people would be sitting alongside the path, perhaps meditating, as some people look at the monument as a religious symbol. And we also got to see some cute sheep grazing nearby.
So here's the arrow, Midsummer Rise, right there. The stone and Stonehenge as well.
Whoa! That's so cool. I just dive straight down and
wow.
went out in different directions.
Now they're in a circle.
Yeah, they're based as an airfield at the top of the hill.
Oh wow.
They're based there while they're doing all their practicing. I'm guessing they're getting ready for the air tattoo.
Okay, I can barely see them yet. South Korean air team.
Sorry, 5,000 meters ago. 3,000 meters. It starts with the earthwork, which is a circular enclosure. The bank of the river runs all the way around the outside. The first stones here were we call the blue stones from Wales.
Okay.
The blue stones initially were just the other side of the bank. We found 56 sockets cut down into the chalk, equidistant, all the way around the monument. The blue stones had a journey of about 190 miles from far west Wales.
Rebecca took this chance to get some handstand walking in, and if you look up at the people in the background around Stonehenge, they are standing as close as they can get to Stonehenge, so we really weren't that far off on our free trail. So I think it was definitely worth saving 80 pounds. Once we finished walking around at Stonehenge, we got in our car and drove about a mile down the road to the visitor center. This is the place where you can get more information. You could also buy your tickets if you wanted to get closer to the monument here, although we could also buy them online at the site. They had a huge building, And inside there was, of course, a gift shop. You would be amazed how many things that can be sold at a Stonehenge gift shop. It had every single thing you could ever think of that could possibly have Stonehenge slapped on it. It was definitely an experience. And they also had food there. We had beef pasties here, which was beef inside a pastry crust. It was so yummy. Outside there was a village with huts to kind of give an idea of maybe what the people who built Stonehenge would have lived in, how they would have lived. These huts were really interesting with the thatched roofs and the floors inside. And now it's time to head out again. We're going to Llanelli. I know I said that wrong, but we're going to Wales, and it is about a 3-hour journey from Stonehenge to our Airbnb. And one thing that I thought was super interesting is that all the signs going into Wales and around Wales all were English and Welsh. I guess I never really thought about thinking of them just as being part of the UK, but yes, they have their own language, and of course still driving on the left side of the road, still using the miles instead of kilometers on the speedometer. We got to enjoy the beautiful countryside on our trip to Wales, and there was a lot of water to see. We got to listen to our audiobook again, which is something that the kids always love. They were kind of disappointed when we didn't have a driving day because they wanted to read more. We're headed to our Airbnb in Llanelli, Wales, and I thought I'd show you a little bit around our Airbnb just because I don't get to do that very often in these videos, but my goal was to not spend more than $100 per night, which is hard to do when it's vacation season, but we were able to do that. You see we have a full living room, kitchen, 2 bedrooms, and we were very close to the beach, as you see out the window, and those tides were crazy. We'll show you that tomorrow. Look, we even saw a rainbow that night. So tomorrow our plan is to go to Kidwelly Castle, and we can't wait to show you. Hi.
You can say it.
Welcome back.
No, we made it to Stonehenge.
We made it to Stonehenge.
Do it again.
We made it to Stonehenge.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So 5,000 years ago, and then when did you say they rediscovered?
It's always been there. It's never been buried. It's always been.
Okay, good.
Where we are, you see, we're on. This is chalk down road.
Okay.
So we've only got maybe 6 inches to a foot of topsoil.
Okay.
We're straight onto a hard slab of chalk.
Nice.
It's the same chalk you see eventually right
Like
way
the
up
cliffs?
Dover, the
Yeah.
white cliffs of
We went
Dover.
there.
Covers the whole of the south of England.
So it never got
You're-
buried.
It's never got buried. And you're only seeing 2/3 of the stone. So each of those uprights, there's another third of it into the chalk bedrock. So they've literally just slopped it down into the chalk and dropped the stones in.
That's pretty cool.
But it's the detail that people miss. Like the lintels that went all the way around, they're all concaved on the inside. Convex on the outside. You could probably make out on that really tall one at the back there. You could see the curve even on that.
Yeah.
They're all held on with mortise and tenons. So all the uprights have got tenon joints on the top of them, carved in the stone. All of the lintels have got the mortise holes carved in them. So it does upset the Danish when I explain that this is clearly where Lego was invented. The evidence is here.
Yeah. That's
But
awesome.
to add to that as well, the lintels that went all the way around joined to each other with a tongue and groove. So all woodwork techniques that they've been using for hundreds of thousands of years, they use those to join these stones together.